It's Pride Month, so obviously I have to do some sort of video, right? I've decided to share my journey as in talking through how I found myself out. My hope is that this could help anyone watching feel validated or find out something they didn't previously know about themselves. And while I do this, I will be drawing my queer Hazbin Hotel characters, because I had to do something for Pride Month. Pride Month. Demon. Yeah, you remember this Hellaverse Pride collection? I'm taking inspiration from that. Let's get started with the journey. In December 2022, I realized... Okay, I'm not actually gonna do that, but yeah. In December 2022, I was looking out the car window, thinking about old friends that I hadn't seen in years, and still haven't, Suddenly, wait, am I not straight? Am I lesbian? Wait, no, that can't be. I still like guys, though. I must be pan then. As far as I remember, that's pretty much actually how it went in my head. I only thought I was pan because I was totally not aware of, anything LGBT, which I think is kind of weird, because, most people would jump to bi before pan. Did I not realize bi was a thing? I don't remember what I thought. But, at some point, I did realize that I was bi and not pan, although... And no offense to pan people, I was actually really disappointed when I thought it was pan. I don't like the pan flag. It's kind of ugly. I was like, no, I don't want to be pan. The colors are awful. Again, no hate to pan people or anybody who likes the flag. So I realized I was bi, but I hadn't accepted myself yet. I had a lot of internalized homophobia. I was like, no, gay's bad. I can't be gay. It was even to the point where I thought bad things were happening just because I realized I was bi. After a few weeks, I kind of forgot about it. It wasn't really present in my brain. Then I think it was June afterwards. So, June 2023, because Pride Month. Pride stuff was everywhere, and I started thinking about my orientation again. But mostly I started questioning my gender. Only a little bit, though. I should probably mention that I'm AFAB. Anyway, I came across a new term, demigirl. And I was like, different pronouns, as in they, them, kind of sound interesting. But, I'm a girl. So I kind of briefly thought I was a demigirl, but didn't really think about it afterwards. About this time, I also discovered neopronouns, or whatever they're called. I'm gonna be completely honest, I'm actually not too familiar with that part of the community. Which is okay, by the way. Don't feel bad about not knowing everything. Most people in the LGBT community don't know everything about the LGBT community. Anyway. I was almost a jerk, unfortunately, because I saw it written in reference to a character. I almost commented. I was so close to saying, I think he spelled her wrong. I'm sorry, I don't know. I think it was Zer or something. I'm sorry, I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. Once again, I don't know everything. So, yeah, that almost happened. Also, at this point, I think I got a crush on a girl online, though I think they identify as something else now, but I'm not sure. I've gotten over that crush now, though, so it's fine. So, September 2023 rolls around, and I got a crush. An actual crush. An in-person crush. It feels weird talking about it, but it is very important to the journey, trust. Also, small warning for this section, it has a lot of internalized homophobia and transphobia. I didn't want to be hateful, it was just there. You understand, though. Also, I was still pretty unfamiliar with all the LGBT stuff, so I was confused on top of all of that. So I saw someone, and I immediately liked them, not necessarily having a crush. I just knew I liked them and wanted to know them better, so when they introduced themselves, they said, "Hi, I'm name, and I use he, him pronouns." So I immediately thought that was suspicious? I'm not sure if suspicious is the right word. Also, remember, I was very dumb back then. I didn't know anything, okay? I was just like, wait, he introduced himself with pronouns. Does that mean he's trans? I didn't see him much after that, but after meeting him, I realized I might have a crush on him, and I had thoughts like this. Wait, so if he's trans, that means he's technically a girl, which is gay, which is bad. But if he's trans, that also technically means he's a guy, which isn't gay, so it's fine, right? Remember that I had a lot of internalized homophobia and transphobia? Anyway, so I eventually figured out that he was trans, and I'm actually really dumb for not connecting the dots sooner, because it was months before I realized. And I still have a crush on him, and it haunts me every day. I don't know, feelings are complicated, and this is coming from an ace person, but I don't know if that's why. Also, I recently discovered that he's actually non-binary, I think. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I still like him, though, but now I'm just rambling, so... Anyway, December 2023, it's been a year since I realized I was bi, and something clicked. I must have seen something somewhere, but I realized it was totally okay that I was bi. And, I mean, after this, I still had a few times where I thought maybe being gay is actually bad, but eventually those thoughts stopped occurring. I finally accepted myself. It felt really freaking good to love that part of me, and I was okay. Only to start questioning my gender again! Yay! Throughout the first half of 2024, I would occasionally start thinking about gender again. And I was going in circles like, am I girl? Am I non-binary? Am I gender fluid? Demi-girl? What am I? And then I also came across the term of gender flux. So add that to the options. I'll come back around to this later, but now it's June of 2024. Pride Month again! This time I discovered asexuality, but thought nothing of it. And I continued with the gender questioning. At this point, I also came out as just bi, I think, to my sister, who was accepting, but late 2024, I started thinking more on the asexual thing, and thought about it. At some point, I was like, yeah, I'm asexual then, only to continue questioning. But hey, at least I called myself asexual. At this point, it's probably 2025. I don't know. It starts getting kind of muddy here, but I was still questioning my gender. I was just going in circles, but was finally like, okay, I guess I'm non-binary then. I honestly didn't think much about it afterwards, but I also remembered that a gender exists, so yay. Anyway, June 9th. Yeah, we're doing exact dates now. JK, just this once. I came out, just to my mom, as bi and ace. My mom was super accepting, of course. She didn't know what being asexual was, so I explained. Also, somehow both my sister and my mom knew I was gay in some way. They're also the only people I've really come out to, but I guess I was still worried I wasn't actually asexual. But a bunch of validating videos later, I stopped worrying so much, but I still worry from time to time, even now. Late 25, I tried, and failed, to make a sauna. In the process of doing so, my sister accidentally referred to it as them, and was like, oh wait, no, sorry, and I was like, well, actually, maybe not. I'm kind of questioning my gender, so that could be accurate. So yeah, Minnie coming out to my sister. At some point, I don't know when, I put she, they in all my bios. But it wasn't until literally this year, early 2026, that I fully embraced being non-binary, and I'm still processing, still realizing exactly what being non-binary means to me. I still use she, they, but I'm really fine with anything. Which is fine, because gender and pronouns don't always correlate, and I'm really hoping to come out as non-binary to my mom soon, because I haven't done that yet. I also still question everything from time to time. I think it's completely normal, even though I've fully accepted myself. Like, I still question my sexuality, because maybe I'm not bi and I'm actually omni, or pan. Basically, just omni and pan that I question. It can sometimes be really hard to gauge how you feel and why you feel that way. But I also do kind of wish I was a lesbian, because lesbians are awesome. But alas, I still like guys sometimes. Okay, wow, that was a lot of words, but I really wanted to explain in detail. I'm also very, prideful person, as in I talk about LGBT a lot, and I think it's a huge part of who I am. As opposed to my sister, who hasn't labeled herself, but definitely isn't straight, is pretty quiet about it and doesn't really know too much about the community. So all in all, don't think you're any less valid just because you don't know, or are questioning, or are not super involved with the community. You are valid. Anyway, I probably won't be able to talk for a while after recording all this, but I hope you enjoyed, and I hope it maybe helped someone figure themselves out, or at least feel more valid. Okay, bye. I'll shut up now.